Atomfall, a Fallout type of game that a lot of people are kind of looking forward to. I would say it's a little bit too early to judge. It's not a full thing, and a lot of things need changing. A lot of things don't exactly feel as I would like them to feel. Granted, it's already better than everyone's favorite Bethesda disaster, Starfield, and its shitty expansion. And, well, let's be completely real. The next big Fallout type of thing is not going to be Fallout 5 because Bethesda is going to take 20 years to make that thing. And the most closest Fallout game that we currently have in the production line is, sadly, The Outer Worlds 2. And, yeah, I'm not expecting a lot from that game, okay? Not a lot of people are expecting a lot. Because the developers at Obsidian fundamentally don't understand what people wanted from their game, and now they're doubling down with things that people didn't want. Like, for example, weapons that shoot rockets and shit. Yeah, maybe work on the roleplay elements, Obsidian. But in any case, Atomfall, let's check.
Something that is both Fallout and Stalker coded. And I have to say, as someone who's been playing it for a decent amount of time now, I've been really enjoying my time with Atomfall, which may come as a bit of a surprise. You might remember I attended Gamescom LA in August of last year. I previewed a ton of games, and in sort of a game jam preview video, I talked about in passing Atomfall and how my time with it really squished a lot of the excitement out of my body for the game. That was because of the game's combat AI. And in a sense, I think my concerns are still pretty valid, because when I saw they were...
Yeah, I mean, the AI does not look good. Like, the Molotov cocktail throw right here. The guy just sprints over to the dead bodies and is like, something happened here. Yeah, that's not a good look, you know what I'm saying?
In a sense, I think my concerns are still pretty valid, because when I saw they were coming out in March, based on what I played, I went, there's no way it's going to be ready in that time. And yeah, the combat AI is still bad, but it's improved compared to that.
Bro, this is why no one should ever use a console for games like this. Oh my god, I can already tell the pain. This is console stuff.
August experience where, like, it immediately was frustrating, broken stealth gameplay. You could see the ideas were here, but it needed a lot of polish. So it's not a perfect experience. In a lot of ways, it's very flawed, but I find it very fun. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are new here and you're into what's going on with games, right? Some day one.
Flawed is not necessarily that bad. Stalker 2 was flawed, still is flawed. There's a lot of bugs there. But, you know, people still enjoy it, and it's definitely a good game. When more bugs are going to be fixed, it's going to be a great game, probably. So, yeah.
Reviews. Consider subscribing. We've been doing reviews and impressions all over the place between here and Retro Rebound. So again, get subscribed. Now, let's start off at the foundation. If you are a Fallout fan, what is here for you from that franchise? It really
A shitty Doctor Who reference, I guess? I don't fucking know.
starts with the post-apocalyptic feel. Now, it's not like a nuke has been dropped per se, but you are in such an abandoned location, they call it the zone, that it does feel post-apocalyptic. There is a retro...
Okay, that's definitely some Stalker stuff right there. That's also a zombie, I think. Yeah, okay, this is kind of nice.
future aesthetic here in the technology that you see across its world. And there's also
Oh, that's not a zombie. That's just a retard.
nationalistic world design, the propaganda posters that you'll see throughout all these different towns and buildings that you crawl through really does paint this feeling of British pride, if you will. However, there's also basically a vault door opening sequence when you enter a location called the Interchange. So yeah, it's pretty on the nose there. When it comes to Stalker though, which is a franchise I'm admittedly pretty new to, with my first Stalker experience being with Stalker 2, it's the survival elements, the realism inspired shooting. You're not going to be mowing through enemy camps with like fully auto weapons.
Oh, that's good. I like that. Because you know what's pissing me off playing Fallout games? It's the fact that in all of these games, I want one thing in my life, and it's simple. I'm not asking for a lot, okay? I just want a game where I can be a stealth sniper. That's it! That's literally it. And I wonder how this game is gonna handle that aspect. Obviously, you see the grass where you're supposed to hide. I'm honestly very much against grass and those terms because it's fucking bullshit. If someone's hiding in that grass, you're fucking visible AF, boy, okay? I want a sniper experience that's not real life. I don't have to calculate the goddamn bullet drop and the fact that someone farts and the wind picks it up and it ruins the shot. But I want it a little bit more realistic than, oh, look at that. 1 centimeter tall grass. Let's hide in that shit and no one's gonna ever see you. That kind of ticks me off a little bit. But I do want a little bit better than Fallout 4. Because a lot of people don't like Fallout 4 stealth mechanics, including myself. It's a little bit obnoxious. But the reality is like this. A lot of games do it in a similar fashion. You're in stealth, you shoot, and then the NPCs don't do anything. They start running in the direction from the shot. Now, granted, this is what people don't know about Fallout 4, for example. If you go into a camp and you stealth from afar, if you shoot someone and they die, the enemies don't know where you are yet, probably, but they're going to start running in the direction the shot was made from, which is bullshit considering the head literally exploded, so 10 out of 10 dead. But they start running your direction. So if you move sideways, you actually are not going to get spotted. This is what people don't know about the stealth mechanics in Fallout 4. And that's what a lot of games do. And I don't like that. I don't like that the enemies just start randomly running in your direction. They should move in your direction, but they should probably use, like, cover or, you know, something like that. Not just instantaneously go to the corpse and be like, "She's dead!" You know? If someone's sniping you from afar, probably you should kind of get in cover, and that would be kind of cool that NPCs did that, but they never do, and that's kind of annoying.
And have tons of ammo. That's not the experience here. Its dialogue is very similar to what you get in a Stalker game, and you'll see a lot of plant life reclaiming every corner of the environment. And you better get used to seeing a lot of green, because I do mean every corner, every town, it's a lot of green no matter what zone you're in. The other part of the foundation that you'll see right away at the start of the game is the alternate history approach, that during the 1960s where the Wyndham nuclear disaster occurred, and by the way, like an actual real event, this goes a different path where now North England turns into a quarantine zone. So like, yeah, even Fallout London mod fans, you might get a little
Isn't North England always a quarantine zone?
taste of that here. Now, what I really want to do is just
By the way, there was a keep calm posted. Keep calm
mod
and
fans, you might get a little
carry on, I guess.
taste of that here. Now, what I really want to do is just get a lot of my problems out of the way with this game. Not only to be upfront about it, because I do like it a lot in spite of those flaws, and you should be aware of them, but also, like, I just think there's so many more exciting things about this game that outweigh them. But again, you should just be aware of these flaws. So let's start off with the combat AI, because I did lead in with that with my preview. Particularly the part that breaks with the combat AI is the enemies pathing to you. A lot of times they'll get stuck on walls and just stare at you, and it's open season. They'll stop attacking you. You'll see them yelling different one-liners at you, but nothing's really happening, and you'll just be able to pick.
Okay, listen, so I don't know about you, but I'm not seeing any Fallout this types of things. This just seems like everyday British life as far as I'm concerned.
Them free headshot, no problem, and it squishes an otherwise typically challenging game on its recommended difficulty setting that I was playing on. Sometimes patrols, although not very frequently, will spawn near you, and because this is such a resource
Dude, this already has a chance to be better than Fallout because the guns look like guns, not some kind of random bullshit someone got to make on coke withdrawal.
driven game, it does feel a little cheap when something like this happens. And also sometimes
God, how can you play as a console plebeian? Like, this aiming is painful.
little cheap when something like this happens. And also sometimes they just throw a lot of rats my way, and you're just like trying to stomp all of them out, and I could get like 5, 6 rats, but they will just like, I stepped into the interchange and they're like, here's 19 rats, stomp them all out or throw a Molotov
Damn, well, hey, it's rats. Of course there's gonna be a lot of rats.
cocktail at them, something like that. But I don't know, it was just such a weird enemy to throw at you
Also, that's kind of cool.
in mass. Nonetheless, there's that. Stealth also isn't very good. It could be a lot better. You'll silently take out a guard, for
Not
example, and then their body is almost immediately spotted, meaning that you're likely going to be immediately spotted in the
Stealth takedowns are okay, but I don't like when stealth fucking takedowns are like, okay, guys against the wall, you sneak up from him from here, and he somehow magically doesn't see you, and then when you press the takedown, he turns his back to you and you do it, okay? I that really pisses me off. I want an animation from, if he's leaning against the wall, bash his head in. If he's sitting on something, do that, okay?
Near future, because even when you're in hiding, like, they just see you, which I can appreciate. The whole tall grass doesn't actually work as well in reality compared to the actual game mechanic, but
Good.
when the game heavily incentivizes stealth, I found this just to be a touch strange. Sometimes also you'll just be spotted from a mile out. Like, I had one time I was ambushing a druid cast.
God, Manny is so fucking bad with his game reviews on average. It's like, does this game have any stat system, item system? What are we talking about here?
And just like across this entire chasm, I was like, oh, someone spotted me. Where is it? And I realized, like, there's this little dot out there. This little human being spotted me. It was like, hey, he's over there. Again, very realistic, I guess, but in a way that just felt super cheap. And it's a little bit of jank that I'll get into a lot throughout this review, where there was a time I choked out a guard outside of an entrance and then entered that building, got what I needed, and left, and he respawned while the same guard I choked out was still dead on the ground, and he wasn't reacting to the dead guard or anything. So there's moments like that.
Nice.
The other thing that does affect stealth gameplay is audio, because this game doesn't have a map or markers on enemies, which is fine, by the way, and I encourage it for this style of game. So you're led to heavily rely on sound to know where your enemies are located. Unfortunately, if you're using those barks and commands to find out where the enemies are, you're SOL, because all the spoken lines are not localized, meaning that it's like everyone is right next to you with the audio arriving in both your ears. So this means that they could be to your right around the corner of a building, and it'll sound like they're right on top of you, which again really just hurts the stealth experience, because it's so needed oftentimes. And I think the stealth gameplay would be better, even with the flaws with the AI I pointed out, if I could just locate them via sound and just navigate the environment using my ears. Healing in combat is hard.
The environments do seem pretty good, though. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like this. Seems okay.
Hardcore for sure, but I'm not sure I do love it. You have to open the pause menu, and when enemies can pretty much like 3-shot.
I kind of like this because this seems kind of real. Okay, this part may be a little bit sus because why the fuck would concrete just magically stop being concrete? I don't know. Anyway, I do like these locations. They seem chunky, but they don't seem like, Starfield chunky when every fucking room has 5 crates in it and 3 tarps and everything in the room, every wall has like a panel or an AC attached to it for no fucking reason. Okay? This seems a lot better. This seems kind of realistic.
You, and sometimes will apply like bleeding to you, which will kill you for sure and kill you very fast. Like, you need to pause and typically heal during combat, and when enemies are using melee weapons to harass you.
I mean, this could have a lot of potential. What do you think, guys? I think this has potential to be good. Man, we have a lot of things to look forward. Tainted Grail, and now maybe this is not going to be a disaster. I mean, the AI definitely needs some work, but I mean, improving the AI. I'm no code monkey, but how hard can that be, right? You already have the base. You just need to slightly adjust what they do in certain situations, right? Shouldn't be that hard.
You and apply these status effects on you. I just wish they let you hotkey at least one healing item. The survival mechanics are a little light, which, by the way, this isn't a problem. I just think it could be for some. It's mainly down to managing healing items with things like grenades and Molotovs, like just managing really your inventory system more than anything. It's not focusing on.
Well, admittedly, we saw this previously, but still. Man, let me just have carry weight capacity. Okay, so what do we have? We have a map. We have investigation. Am I retarded? Investigation. Backpack crafting skills 3. Okay, do we have a skill 3? Like, Maddie, it's so fucking easy to do reviews for these things that are more useful than your autistic yapping, okay? You tell us about the game. You tell us its setting. You tell what we're supposed to do in it, how it plays. Then you go over what you do in this game. Is there a skill system? If there's a stat system? Is there a map? Do you loot the enemies? What are you supposed to do? If there's a skill system, you talk about the perks, and then you talk about how each of these things plays out in reality. Okay, and then you talk about the lore or the dialogues or the shizzle whizzle. This 7 minutes in, and I literally don't know anything about the game, by the way. Literally clueless. I have to piece together this shit like a puzzle. What is this, Sudoku? I'm watching a video, Matty. Like, fuck's sake.
On hunger, thirst, or rest. And honestly, if you don't want to deal with any of this at all, there's difficulty options that can just turn off combat entirely, and you just want to interface with the story. There's the occasional frame dip with no kind of visual modes here on Series X where I played. There's no fast travel, but I found it manageable. I could see some finding it a little tedious, and in towns there are a decent amount of loading screens. They're very quick, but they are there, so it truly is, when you combine this with some of the visual elements you see, like facial animations and whatnot.
As long as we're not talking about Starfield's 10 loading screens in a row, I think I'm fine.
It is kind of the BGS experience at the end of the day. So those are the problems. We got them all out of the way. You're aware of them. Does that really push you off? If not, I got great news for you. The best thing this game does is its interconnected world. It reminded me a lot of when I played Vampire, and that's a game I hold in very high regard as well. I adore that game. So anything that reminds me of that, you know, you're in good company.
I haven't played it.
To be clear, though, I'm going to be extremely light on story details here, because to me, the narrative mechanics are the real main grab of this game, and just uncovering that mystery is
angry, very curious. Thank you for spelling it. Thank you for spelling me out. What kind of emotion I'm supposed to feel when my dialogue option is "Who the hell is this?" I thought that's curious, but thank you for telling me that that's angry. A game that does not respect our intelligences, boys. That's a big red flag. Any game that's supposed to be story-driven, but it doesn't respect your intelligence by doing this shit, typically has a lot of negatives. Best case scenario, maybe your Fallout 4 and you kind of almost get away with it in some situations, but yeah. Oh boy. Also, you can gauge pretty much the dialogue options. Is the writing good in any game? Just from one dialogue segment alone. So, I need to poop, so we're going to end this video real soon, but I'm going to get through the dialogue thing here, okay? So this is how it goes. I'm assuming that the situation is, we need to go in here, take the atomic battery that we saw on the ground, and then the phone mysteriously rings, and you had to deal with some kind of group that was already here or just got here, who fucking knows. And from this, we have dialogue options. We have the curious, yes, yes, I do. Are you the operator? Angry? Who the hell is it? How do you know I was here? These are normal answers, actually. I don't like the fact that it's curious, angry, very, but these are actual legitimate options that I would, like, go in place, get battery, and suddenly a mysterious phone rings. These are reasonable options, not like Fallout 76, where one of these options would probably be, "Hello, Peter the Civilized, I am retarded, how are you?" And I really need to poop, so that was Mr. Matty Plays 10 out of 10. Bye!